The rise of the hybrid athlete. Over the past few years, the fitness world has shifted.
Hybrid training split.
Fight camps, Ironmans, endurance races. More people than ever are chasing complete performance. People don't just want to look athletic anymore. They want to become athletic, leaner, stronger, faster, more explosive, more conditioned. The kind of physique that looks powerful and performs under pressure. The Fight Club physique. The hybrid athlete. And this for me isn't a trend. This is the way I've trained my entire life. Ever since I was 13 years old, breakdancing in my dad's box room, doing head spins on the laminate floor, transitioned into combat sports, running, lifting, got in the gym, built muscle, got into surfing. I've just been intrigued by, I guess, movement and hybrid training my whole life. And every chapter built a different piece of the puzzle. So in this video, we're going to break down exactly how to train like a hybrid athlete. Let's get into it. So before we actually get into nutrition, training splits, exercises, rest and recovery, and everything in between, you need to firstly find your why, right? You need to understand what you're training for. Like, do you want to become, I don't know, a pro surfer, a pro boxer? Do you just want to run a marathon, train for a half Ironman? You have to plan your goals and go from there. So for me, short term, I want to get better at combat sports, so Muay Thai and boxing. Long term, I want to train towards a Ironman, so 70.3. The only passion really I have in life when it comes to, I guess, a passion or a hobby is surfing. So they're like my three main components for wanting to train. Along with that, I want to look good. I want to feel good, right? I want to build that fast, explosive physique, build muscle, stay lean. So that's a task. That's your first step, is to start with your why. So that is step one. Before we even explain the rest of it, you need to understand what you're training for. Because like I say, I know my goals and my training revolves around the things that I want to do and achieve, right? So for the sake of this video, we're just going to talk about and break down a training split example if you want to build a complete physique, right? So if you want to build muscle, stay lean, while also running and maybe building some sort of skill, no matter what that is, whether it's playing football, boxing, and so on, like we explained, right? So first is splits. Like, what is the best split? So the best split I've personally found, and the one that I currently run, is a push, pull, lower, and a full upper session. So that's 4 resistance days per week. Other option to that would be 2 full bodies, a full upper and a full lower. I prefer the first one just because I'm able to, like, one of my current goals is to still maintain and build muscle, right? So I think having, for me, a push and a pull day in specifically is where I'm able to like stimulate a bit more muscle growth. Having 2 full bodies in, like a full body day can be pretty taxing, and I just find that I can't get like the best intensity in my training when I'm doing a full body. Like, it's just too much. But it can work if you either build muscle really quickly, or one of your main goals isn't to build too much muscle. They can be great for like overall performance. Exercise selection. Now, this is going to be super important because, like I said, when you're hybrid training, you're not training like a bodybuilder. So first thing is compounds. Compounds are super important when it comes to hybrid training because they are building fast twitch muscle fibers. You're recruiting a lot more muscles, tendons, ligaments in doing compound movements than you would like a fixed bodybuilding style movement. Again, the goal here is to be fast, strong, and explosive. So what kind of movements? For me, weighted pull-ups and dips are an absolute essential. Again, pull-ups for my pull day, dips for my push day. And even if you're doing a full body, you can maybe do both, or you can do either or on each day. Hex bar, deadlifts in general, bent over barbell rows, squats. You want to be doing these kind of movements. Besides your compound movements, plyometric work. Now, if I was to, I guess, formulate like a day, say for example, say I'm doing lower, I would start with my plyometric work, then I would go into my heavy work, so my compounds, squat, whatever it is for that day, hex bar, deadlift, or whatever it is. Plyometrics are super important for that fast twitch muscle fiber again, but just being fast and explosive in general. You can do many different things. Banded work, a lot of resistant bands are going to be super good for your plyometrics. So box jumps, hex bar jumps, banded bench press. There's so many variants that you can do, especially with bands. That's why you see a lot of high level athletes using resistance bands and doing plyometric works, whether it's like sprinters, football players. Where I usually start with my plyometric work just because, again, it's fast, it's explosive. It requires like a lot of energy expenditure. So I guess that's pretty much why I would always start with it. Then I go straight into my compound movements. After that, I would always incorporate one or two bodybuilding movements. Now, I know this is a little bit contradictory because it's like you just said not to train like a bodybuilder. For me, right now, my personal goals is that I still want to build muscle, and bodybuilding movements to isolate muscles and for muscle stimulus, they are still amazing for growth of muscle, right? So then besides that as well, core development. Do not neglect your core. I see this, it's so common these days, especially in like, I want to say bodybuilding and just coaches in general, because they always say, the abs are built in the kitchen. Obviously they are, right? We all know that. We're not stupid. We're in 2026. We already know that. But the core development is super important. I train my core 2 to 4 times per week. So pretty much on almost every single resistance session I do in the gym, I'll train my core. And it's not just my abs, it's my obliques, it's my lower back, it's the full torso area. And that's the importance also. It goes back to your compound movements, a bent over barbell row, a hex bar, deadlift, a squat. They all have that full engagement of the body and the core. That's why they're super important. But so that pretty much summarizes a week of training, right? So if you look at it, I kind of broke it down here, but for me, a Monday push and run, again, separate. Try and break it up into morning, evening. Tuesday, pull. Wednesday, lower. Thursday, run. Friday, a full upper. Saturday would tend to be a skill day. So for me, that could be anything. That could be whether you're into boxing, Muay Thai, football, whatever it is. I still have that day to actually train. And then Sunday would take as a full rest. So that kind of gives you an idea as to how to break it up. If you didn't want to say the Saturday to do like a skill day where you work on Muay Thai, boxing, whatever it is. If you don't want that separate day, then the Monday I would probably separate my double day, right? Because it's obviously going to be better to separate those days. It's never going to be ideal, especially if you're someone who has a normal life like me and who works a normal job where you don't have too much time in the day to be getting double days in, like these hybrid athletes, influencers who train 6 times a day. Not everybody has that time. So that's why I try and separate every single day. In terms of your exercise, like rep ranges and what to do for your plyometrics and your compound movements, you want to keep your rep ranges pretty low, right? So anywhere from 3 to 6 higher sets. So that's why you do things like your 3x3s, your 4x4s, 3x5s, these kind of sets and reps. Longer rest, shorter reps. Again, more fast, more explosive. Obviously still training with full intensity and training to failure. In terms of my two bodybuilding movements, that's where I would target more for failure rep ranges and hypertrophy rep ranges, right? So anywhere from, it can be anywhere from 8 to about 16. Again, for different muscle groups, like for me, delts, shoulders, I go pretty high reps. Anywhere from 10 to 18, 10 to 20 reps, keeping it heavy still. All right, boys, so nutrition. Now, where to start with nutrition? Now, it should be pretty straightforward, right? Whole foods, organic, as clean as possible. Your physique is going to be a representation of your diet, but also most importantly, especially while you're hybrid training, it's going to be your fuel source, So you need to ensure you're fueling your body in the right way. So where to start with protein? Protein, 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. A safe zone for me is just to double my body weight in kilograms. So if I'm 70 kilo, 140 protein is more than enough. Again, we're not a bodybuilder. It's a good safe zone. You're going to build muscle, you're going to repair, you're going to recover. So it's more than enough. Anything over that then just becomes excessive. And not only that, it then takes away from your fuel, which is going to be your carbohydrates. So it then eats into those calories where you're just over consuming and you're going to lack on carbohydrates. In terms of what protein to eat, again, just whole foods. So red meats, so your beef mince, steak mince, steaks, sirloin, grass-fed, massaged, beautiful steaks. So then also lean meats, so your chicken, turkey, so on, and then just some fish and eggs as well. So salmon, cod, eggs. Eggs are a staple, 5 or 6 a day. If you guys want to see a full day of eating, I've filmed many videos like that on the channel. Go and check them out. You'll see exactly what I eat on a day-to-day basis. And if you want to see another video, let me know. Maybe I'll film a updated full day of eating. The most important is then going to be carbohydrates. Again, you need to be getting in a mixture of different carbohydrates so you're complex. So again, I don't need to explain every single one, but pasta, potatoes, sweet potatoes, vegetables, These are really important, but then also just your simple carbs that you can digest immediately before a workout. So I tend to always, pretty much, I do tend to eat on the way to the gym or like 30 minutes before a workout. Again, if you're going into the gym and you're feeling constantly like you're lacking energy or you're just flat, so you don't have a pump at all, it's probably because you're lacking carbohydrates in the system, and yeah, you're just going to be depleted and have no energy. What does that look like in terms of a pre-workout? It could be banana, dates, a bit of sea salt, and then fats. Fats are super important for your testosterone support and just hormones in the body in general. So I usually consume around 1 gram per kilo body weight. So if I'm 70, about 70 grams for the day is more than enough. Your olive oils, your peanut butters, your nuts in general, avocados, dark chocolate, these sorts of things. So that's pretty much wraps up diet. Now I do also like to intermittent fast. So I fast for, usually have an eating window of about 12 till 8, 12 till 9. I mean, what time is it right now? It's 10:30. I haven't ate yet. So I'm going to actually finish up this video, go out, come back, and then I'll eat. The only thing I've had this morning is a black coffee. So that's just what I like to do. It allows me to remain in a fasted state for obviously that amount of time, but it also allows me to just stay leaner because I'm not just bulk eating a load of food first thing in the morning. That's not really required. So yeah, I like to fuel around my actual workouts, so it's used for fuel and it's not just garbage. But yeah, boys, I think we're gonna wrap up this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Like I said, there's many videos on my channel of like full days of eating, training, so if you want to see those, check them out. But yeah, boys, for those who don't know, we do have Athlete Hub School Community going live very soon. It'll be top link in this video, so check that out. Drop your email, you'll be first to be informed when it goes live. It will be things like this, right? So more informative videos just surrounding hybrid training, private videos that won't go out on YouTube. Again, there's leaderboards, there's giveaways, there's loads of stuff inside there, but it's just going to be surrounding hybrid training. Obviously hosted by me, so there'll be a community tab page where you can post, share, your success stories and stuff like that, and I'll be in there daily as well. So it'll be daily one-to-one communication with myself. It's basically like a group community coaching setting, right? So again, it's in the works. That'll be going live soon. Top link in the description. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a like, subscribe. See you guys in the next one.